Hello everybody and welcome to another video on the Pole Position YouTube channel. In this video we are going to be talking about the new announced plans for the F1 sprint qualifying sessions that are going to be taking place on a Saturday. They've announced it today, so this video will be going out on Tuesday, so this was announced Monday afternoon. So I am going through the sort of format that's going to be taking place over 3 race weekends this season and just giving my overall thoughts on it and just seeing if this sprint qualifying session is actually going to work. So without further ado, let's get into it. So yes, it's been announced that there will be sprint qualifying formats for 3 race weekends of this 2021 season. It's been agreed by all 10 Formula 1 teams. It will be 2 European venues and 1 non-European venue that's going to host these sprint qualifying sessions. This will see the drivers battle it out over 100 kilometres on the Saturday afternoon of the selected Grand Prix weekends, with the result from the sprint qualifying then deciding the starting grid for Sunday's full distance Grand Prix. I will be reading some of the notes on the system because it's quite relatively new from today. The new format will also see the grid for the sprint qualifying decided on the Friday afternoon, so qualifying is going to actually be taking place on the Friday, and then obviously we're going to have the sprint qualifying session on the Saturday, with then the main race on the Sunday. Yeah, Friday afternoon we'll have the normal qualifying format, Q1, Q2 and Q3. The cars will then enter parc ferme conditions from the start of Friday qualifying, while there'll be one 60-minute practice session on both Friday and Saturday mornings. So I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. There is a little bit of things that they can do between the actual Friday qualifying and the Saturday morning sessions that goes into the sprint race. But yeah, so it's been decided meanwhile that the top 3 finishes on Saturday qualifying, sprint qualifying, will receive points. 3 points for first place, 2 points for second place and 1 point for third place. So actually this might pay into the actual championship battle, so the actual sprint race on the Saturday will also gain points. Not a huge amount, 3 points is not a lot for say first place, 2 points for second and 1 point for third, so if you're not in the top 3 you're not going to get any points out of it, but I suppose it's only technically what would be qualifying day, so otherwise you'd be giving points for people who are getting on pole. Stefano Domenicali said, "We are excited for the new opportunity that will bring our fans an even more engaging race weekends in 2021. Seeing the drivers battling out over 3 days will be an amazing experience, and I'm sure the drivers will relish the fight." And it is interesting that because of this, because we always say like Friday's great, you know, if you're an avid Formula 1 fan to watch the F1 practices, but yeah, in terms of this format for 3 races this season, we're going to be seeing the main qualifying on a Friday afternoon, a sprint race on the Saturday, like I said, 100-kilometre sprint race, and then the main race on the Sunday. So I think not only will it be interesting to see what it's like for true fans of Formula 1, I think it might also bring in new fans of the sport as well, to say 2 actual, even if they don't watch the qualifying on the Friday, it's 2 races over the course of the weekend. So I think it is an interesting one, and it's only 3 races, so why not give it a go? I think they've done the right thing in trying something new. Of course, being a Formula 1 fan, I don't think there's anything wrong with the format they have now. I think it works. I think it's decent enough. They've obviously tried to adjust qualifying in the past and it hasn't really worked. We go to the Australian Grand Prix, I think back in 2016 or 2015, when they had that sort of literally a sprint qualifying where the timer would go out, and if you hadn't done your lap you were out of the session. I think that lasted 2 races and it was already removed. So at least they're saying that we're only doing 3 this time around to actually see what it's like. But yeah, if I haven't already, I'll put the thing on the screen in terms of the actual format for the race weekend that Formula 1 have actually put out. But like I said, Fridays, a 60-minute first practice session in the morning. This gives 2 sets of tyres for teams to choose freely. Normal qualifying format in the afternoon, with 5 soft tyre sets available only. Saturday, again, like I said, 60-minute second free practice in the morning, 100-kilometre sprint qualifying in the afternoon, and then the full distance Grand Prix with 2 remaining sets of tyres. Ross Bourne, again, has said, we aim to create a Grand Slam feel for the weekends, which feature a sprint qualifying race and boosts the spectacle for fans and promoters alike. If you're going to one of them races, it's great that you're going to get 2 races over the course of the weekend. What 2 sort of are looking looking at Silverstone, and I think Monza's the other European race. We're not sure at the minute that's going to be the non-European one, and which racetrack they will go to for that. But yes, obviously Rossbourne again is looking forward to it again for the fans. If I just go into some sort of the details, so obviously qualifying, like I said, is going to be the main part, but it's going to be on the Friday afternoon because I think people are hoping that people will finish work just as the qualifying started. One important point is what if it's a wet? So if FP1 or qualifying is held in wet conditions, teams will be giving an additional set of intermediate tyres, but they then must return the used set if they've used before sprint qualifying. Parc ferme is another one, so they have changed a little bit slightly. There is some wiggle room between Saturday's FP2 session, which will be a little bit more useful. The full list of changes they said will be released in due course, but they are permitting some car configurations between them points. So again, that'll be interesting to see, because usually once qualifying has taken place, that's it. You can't adjust anything until the race weekends. But of course, they've obviously got the main qualifying format on the Friday, then that practice session on the Saturday before the sprint qualifying race on the Saturday afternoon. So there might be a bit of wiggle room in terms of car configurations, and if there's any damages as well between the sort of practice sessions and then going into the sprint qualifying. So I think as much as it's been announced, it is also up in the air as well in terms of how it's going to work. I think it'll all come down to the first race weekend that it actually takes place. So it would be Silverstone, where we would really see what it's actually going to produce over that weekend. It might not be the case that we even have fans at that first race weekend. So yeah, the first time the qualifying format, the sprint qualifying takes place, will we actually have fans at the event to watch it? Who knows? Hopefully by that time we might have a few fans at Silverstone to be able to watch the race. But yeah, my overall thoughts on it are that I think it's good. I think F1, this is the time really when we've had this point where we haven't had many fans in the grandstands for over a year. I think it's a good thing just to test it out, just see what happens. Nobody's ever going to say no to having this as fans, to see two races over a race weekend compared to just one, and of course obviously keeping the qualifying format as well on a Friday. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think with having it down as only 3 races, it's good to test the waters. I think it's positive signs. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We go back to the usual qualifying and race formats. It doesn't really matter. There's 23 races this season. If we use 3 to test out this qualifying format, what does it matter? We've still got 20 other races with the usual one. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think it's a good idea to have these sprint qualifying sessions taking place, or do you think they should just be sticking to the normal qualifying format as well? I will be doing a preview of the Portuguese Grand Prix as well before the race weekend. So yeah, check that out. That should be out at the end of the week. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care. See you soon.